Hi, my name's Phil. I like talking about politics, and in this video I'd like to discuss how Reform UK have said they want to destroy 12,000 jobs in clean energy in Lincolnshire, and why they're doing it. Sounds mad to come into power, powered largely by working class concerns, and then announce an assault on £1 billion worth of jobs. But there is an urgent reason for Reform UK to want to do this. This isn't like their pretend war against flags or immigration or anything. This is part of the real reason that Reform UK exists. Because although the Tories fear extinction at the hands of Reform UK, so Reform UK's financial backers fear extinction at the hands of the Green Revolution. But first, for daily news and commentary, please hit the subscribe button to stay notified. So Reform UK, who now have control of both the council and mayor's office in Lincolnshire, have announced that they will be blocking all energy infrastructure projects in the county, including pylons, which is what delivers the electricity no matter what the source. Not that they've got any power to do that. And you may be thinking, well, given that Angela Rayner and Ed Miliband for the Labour government have both made it clear they will intervene at the local level to push important infrastructure planning through, Reform UK do have the power to put these jobs at risk. One of the key strategies for boosting our grid capacity, as well as moving away from fossil fuel production, is small-scale community-based production, particularly wind and solar. Now, the government can intervene, of course, but if Reform UK do what they can to delay and block each of these projects individually, the costs mount up. It's way less worth it to mount a legal challenge to get some planning through for a small project as compared to a really big one. And Reform UK can't block the big ones anyway. So the idea that is that Reform UK will do what they can to make the costs of these small projects unfeasible. This is what Reform UK will target. It has caused people to suggest the government should beef up their planning reforms even more. The legislation is still passing through Parliament, which means there's still time for amendments. The legislation is already designed to make it harder to raise spurious legal challenges against projects. And this adds some important context to the planning reforms. Obviously, a lot of people have cautioned against removing too many of the guardrails from the planning process. You look at the thing at the moment, and Labour are like, remove it, right? We're gonna back the builders, not the blockers, right? And it's like, okay. But there are good reasons to have regulations as well. There is good reason to have scrutiny of building. And some critics have made good arguments that some of the deregulation targets potential source of planning delays, which have never really been a problem anyway. And, a little bit like bringing in photo ID for elections when the number of cases of voter fraud per year was sometimes zero. And even on a bad year, you could count them on the fingers on one hand. Some of Labour's planning reforms look a bit like that. They're targeting a potential source of infrastructure blocking that has never actually blocked infrastructure. So it's like, well, why are you doing it? Reform UK are taking control of councils, and they're going to use every means at their disposal to block Labour from building our infrastructure back up. It shifts the arguments more towards the side of erring on the side of development and away from giving Reform UK tools to raise vexatious objections to building, energy or homes. And Reform UK are going way beyond the NIMBYism we've suffered from decades. There's something much more sinister at work here. Because ask yourself, so why would Reform UK be on a mission to block any and all energy projects? It's not because of this, net zero costs more. No, we know it costs less. Net zero produces much, much cheaper energy. That's a fact. And they're not even just technically blocking green energy projects like all energy projects. There are two reasons. The first and the lesser reason is that Reform UK profit when the country is knackered. They do well in areas where people feel things are going backwards. If Labour get the public believing that the NHS is much better, housing capacity is better, energy's on the right track, their incomes are going up, if all of these sorts of key concerns of everyday living are addressed, they don't have to be fixed overnight. The public just have to believe, yes, this is now going in the right direction. Reform UK will have nothing on Labour. Now, even immigration concerns won't save them if all the individual concerns that get traced back to immigration don't exist. Because, ask yourself, why are people anti-immigration in this country? Why are they anti? Because they worry about the access to jobs and housing and the NHS, and they think that this is a problem of immigration, right? If you solve all those issues, people are less concerned about immigration. The best Reform UK would be able to do under those conditions is capture Tory territory if the Conservatives continue to capitulate to them. For Reform UK to build momentum, they have to attract Labour votes as well, as they are doing at the moment. So they need to sabotage as much of the country at local and regional level as possible. Keep Britain crap, that's their real motto. But there's a second and more urgent reason for them to oppose specifically energy projects. Despite what many of their voters believe, Reform UK are basically just a Tory group. They exist to represent the interests of multinational money and selling out their own country to it. And the oil industry is the source of some of the biggest international money in politics. It's not just that it's a very wealthy industry on a global scale. It has a long history of spending money on political campaigns to further its own commercial interests, like the NRA, but on a global scale, right? And we're at a crossroads with the oil and gas industry. Ask yourselves why Labour are not going as hard on the oil licences for the North Sea as their general philosophy should dictate. It's because of major resistance from the unions and the Scottish Government. Now, why? Because of fears for the jobs dependent on the industry, right? The oil industry does little else for us. We don't get the oil and gas from the North Sea. Reform UK say, oh, we should get more of our own energy from the North Sea. We don't get anything from the North Sea. It's all sold on the international market. Whatever we use, we pay full international prices for it. It's not ours. We gave it away to gas giants. We didn't even get anything in the way of taxes, really. Some years they don't pay anything at all. What we get are the jobs. That's the powerful political leverage there, the jobs. Labour are trying to transition those jobs to clean energy. So they're trying to massively boost the number of jobs dependent upon clean energy to the point where it would be just as politically dodgy to try and then collapse that industry. And this is a process that will not be completed in 5 years. In fact, it could take decades to fully transition. However, it is possible to make the process irreversible in the foreseeable future. Labour's aim is to make sure we are on a one-way journey to economic prosperity through clean energy by the end of their decade of renewal. If that happens, no future Tory or Reform government can really do much to change it. If they try, it will unleash Trump-level damage to the economy and people's living standards, and they will be booted straight out of office again. Won't be possible for any future government to dismantle democracy in the way Trump is doing in America. It can be done, don't be complacent, but not in the way Trump is doing it and not as quickly as Trump is doing it. It would have to be done slowly. So if Labour get things right, by the time it's possible for a right-wing government to set up shop again, they could try slowing down progress, sure, but even that would come with an economic cost, which could be election losing, but they would not be able to throw it into full reverse. And that's why Reform UK are targeting these energy projects, especially in Lincolnshire, the only part of the country where they have both the mayor and the council under their control. They don't care about the cost of the local economy or jobs because they'll just blame that on the government. They are trying to slow down Labour's transition to a green economy because they know that no matter what happens, Labour can only remain in power for so long. 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, doesn't matter. They can't really go beyond that. They are desperately trying to slow down their progress in order to still have fossil fuel industry to fight for when they come to power, to save their multinational paymasters. Because if the UK ends up firmly reliant on the green economy, and the public are already supportive of that future, it's curtains for a major source of income for these ghouls. This is their big thing. It's not culture wars. It's not immigration. Those are just the distractions. This is their mission, to stop the UK weaning our independence on soulless corporate entities. And so, although there are obvious concerns about deregulation when it comes to planning, we need the houses, we need the energy infrastructure, we sure as hell need the jobs. So I'm increasingly leaning on the side of, look, do everything possible to stop Reform UK having easy ways of blocking progress. And yeah, there will be unintended downsides later. We'll worry about that then, when the country is firmly on the right path. But there we are. Those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. If you've enjoyed the video, please click the like button and subscribe for further content. If you'd like to support the channel further, you can click the join button for memberships. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'll see you later.